Okay, so welcome to the first of our Senior Dogs Month mini online classes. I'm Joan Atkins. If you haven't worked with me before, welcome. Thank you for joining us. If you have worked with me before, welcome back. And I'm glad I didn't put you off first time round. So I am going to be going through some senior dog exercises for you today, and this little mini class is being recorded, and the link for this is going to go out to everybody who has signed up for the Senior Dogs Month information. I'll also pop it in the Senior Dogs class as well, so if you do want to come back to this, if you're watching live, then you can come back to it at any point and just kind of go over some bits and pieces. Or if you are watching on the replay, then thank you for coming back to the replay. So I have two dogs myself at the moment. I have got Norwich Terriers, Merlin, who will be 10 in under a month now, and then Ripley, who is 3.5. And so Merlin is obviously going to be my senior dog for this exercise, for this workshop, and Ripley's going to be here because she likes taking part in lots of different things. And the exercises that are geared towards senior dogs are not just things that can be done by senior dogs, but actually they're really good things to put in place for younger dogs, from puppies to adults, to actually get them prepared for becoming a senior. So you don't have to wait until dogs are a little bit older. So if you have got more than one dog at home, and you've got a senior and a younger dog, then you can do this with the younger dog as well. It will all be absolutely fine. Okay, I do just need to keep coming forwards and backwards just to check if anyone else needs to come in, or if anyone's asking any questions. If you do have a question, you can just pop it in the chat. Which, if you're on a phone or a tablet, if you touch the screen, it will bring up a menu with more at the bottom, and then there'll be chat, and then you can click on that and you can literally just ask a question and it will bring it up in the chat for me. But I will do a very brief Q&A at the end if anyone wants to unmute and talk. So what are we going to be doing? With senior dog training, we are looking at a range of different areas. So we're looking at a bit of brain work, a little bit of body awareness work, a little bit of body strengthening, and we need to have a bit of fun in there as well. So we try and build it up slowly and build it back down again. So this is just a mini class, remember, so we're only going to be doing kind of samples of everything, aren't we? So the first thing we're going to have a little look at is just giving the dogs a chance to kind of warm up a little bit. Okay, and a really nice way of warming dogs up is to use a target of some sort. So depending on what your dog has already done before, and like I say, this is a taster, so I'm going to keep it as foundation level as possible, but a target, generally speaking, is where your dog uses a part of their body to indicate an item that's either handheld, on the floor, stuck to the wall, something like that. So the type of targets that we could use is something like a nose touch. Yes, so that's a nose target. We can ask for a paw. Yes, good boy. We can ask for a chin target. Can you do peekaboo so we can see? Good boy, wait. Chin. I don't want that. Chin. Yes, good boy. So they are all targets. Okay, you're a good girl, aren't you? Now, when we ask for paw, it doesn't have to be lifting a paw. We can actually have a floor target and help our dogs to go to a floor target, which means that they can navigate it at whatever speed they want. It doesn't have to be far away from them. Actually, you can have targets on the floor right in front of your dog if need be. And they can actually target from sitting. They can target from laying down. It can be a little bit more difficult to navigate, but it can be done. And the target item, sorry, darling, doesn't have to be huge. In fact, I'd rather it not be huge. We want it to be quite small, quite flat. And it makes it a little bit easier for your dog to put their paws on, basically. I'm just trying to find what I've done with my target. There it is. So the target I'm going to be using today is a coaster. Okay, nice and easy, nice and simple. It could be a drinks coaster, it could be a placemat, but something that you don't mind your dog putting their feet on, potentially drooling on, depending on your dog, and just something that you are happy for your dogs to use. So this is just a normal, like, cork-backed coaster, nothing exciting. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to work on my dogs putting their paws on there. So if you've not done this before with your dog at all, you might want to try and use something a little bit bigger, like a placemat or a book. If your dog has done a paw target before, then you'll probably be fine with something much smaller. Okay. Now, all I'm going to do with this is put it on the floor. So hopefully you can see that against the rug. I'm just going to check that you can see it. Ooh. Hang on, I'm getting calls coming through. It's all going today. I'm getting calls and all sorts. No one ever phones me. Right, I'm trying to see if you can see this on the thing. Ripley? Just about. You can just about make it out there. I might turn it upside down. It might be a bit clearer then. Come over here for me, please. There, let's pop that there. Let's take your streams collar off. We don't need that one at the minute. So all I'm going to do, if I can get my dogs to get off of it, because they like a target, is I'm going, yes, I know you're very clever. Good girl. I'm just going to indicate that there's something here. What's this? Good boy. And anytime your dog puts their paw on it, we're going to say yes, or if you click a train, give a click, or if they're deaf, give a thumbs up, and then give them a treat for doing it. Now, one way of getting your dog to paw something is to put a treat underneath it, okay? So if, good girl, yes, you're a very good girl as well. So if I have too many treats in my hand, if I put this in my hand and put the coaster on top so my dog can smell that there's food, but they obviously can't get to it. What's this? Can you find it then? Melly? Ripley, can you come out the way, baby? What Melly can find? Where is it? Melly? Melly? Where is it? Yes, good boy. So could you see he went, no, I don't know how to get to it. And his paw went on it. And as soon as his paw landed, yes, gave him the treat. Okay, I do the same thing with Ripley. So I'm going to put the treat underneath the coaster. Can you find it? Where is it? Yeah, good girl. Obviously mine do know a paw target, but I'm not asking for a paw target there. What you'll find is your dog will go, I don't know how to get to it. Where is it? What do I do? And the moment you get that paw, that's when you want to give them the praise. So you don't want it too high. You don't even have to have it in your hand. You can have it on the floor with a treat under if you want to, and just kind of, oh, where is it? Can you get it? Where is it? As soon as that paw comes out, one paw, you don't need lots and lots of digging. One paw, yes, get the treat out, reward. Once they've done that a couple of times, they're then starting to have a little bit of value for the target itself. So then it can just be on the floor as it is, and you have the treats on you. Make your treats quite small, because we're going to go through a fair amount. I'm going to pop that down there. You're very clever, but I haven't asked you for it, have I? Over here. And we're just going to stand. I need more targets. What else can I use as a target, you mad lot? There's a bit of wood. Let's use a bit of wood. Oh no, it's got a bit of screw sticking out. Okay, here's a book. Here's a book we read earlier. Right, I've got 2 targets now for 2 dogs. There you go, clever pair. So we stand next to it, or you can kneel next to it. And just as soon as they put their foot on it, we give them a yes or a click or a thumbs up, and then give them a treat. And ideally what we want to do is then actually ask them to come away again, okay? Because if they stay on it, they're not learning to go to it, yeah? So good girl, that's very clever, isn't it? Merlin? Oh, come on, Merlin, what's that? Yeah, good boy. So you can show them like I've done with Merlin there. That's a very good boy. Come off of it. Ripley, go and get it. Merlin? Good boy. Yes. Yeah, good boy. Yeah, so you can just kind of highlight that there is something there. Rippers chippers. Yes, you're a very good girl. And then when they're starting to put a paw on it, however they do it, they might lay down and do it. They might sit and just put their paw out. They might jump on it. They might scrap on it. You know, each dog will do it slightly differently. But once they are happy to put a foot on there, then you're starting to get a target. And that's where we want to put good pair. That's where we start putting the words to it, okay? So as they go to put their paw on it, we give them a word like paw or target or foot or anything else you might want to use. All right, so over here. Ready? Can you go target? Use scanners. Target. Yes. And so then they're going out to it and we reward them for that. So depending on what you've done before, okay, we want to start with teaching how to get that paw to target something quite flat on the floor. If your dogs have done targeting before, so no dogs that have worked with me more than likely have done targets at one point or another, then try and working on different types of floor targets, different textures, because it really helps with dogs as they get older. The signals going from the brain across the whole body start diminishing a little bit, and that's when they start losing their proprioception, where they then aren't lifting their feet up quite as high, or the back feet start to kind of knuckle under and go under as they walk. So by giving them lots of different textures to think about and consider and think, oh yeah, I've touched that, I know I'm on that now, we are getting them to really think, getting that brain to keep firing and get those signals down to every part of the body from the front right down to the back feet, and helping that to keep nice and active. And the more they're using their brain like that, then the more healthy that brain will stay, basically. So what you can do for dogs that have done targeting, ask them to target different things that they probably wouldn't expect you to ask them to target. A piece of paper, a receipt. My Taylor, who Taylor got to 13 years and 7 months, bless him, before hemangiosarcoma grabbed him. But he would target anything. He loved to target, and I could literally send him to pieces of snow and ice as it was melting, and he would go and target those. He would target a leaf. He loved to target. So, you know, anything at all that you can find. And so then we can build it up a bit more. So for the dogs that have done this before, we can start them off a bit further away. They target. Yes, that's good. Rippers chippers. And rip your target. Yeah, that's good. Now, if you're finding that your dog is starting to give it a bit of a scrap, what we can do is stay close to them, ask them to put their paw on. Yes, and as soon as they put their paw on it, ask them to do something like a sit. Okay, depends on what they know. You might not want to do a sit if their back end has got some joint issues. Ripley, target, good girl. We could do target and a recall. We can do a target and a nose touch. We can ask for a target and a down. Yeah, so it doesn't matter too much what it is we're asking for, but rather than let them keep digging, you can give them something else to think about. So they know it's the target they have to do first. They quickly get the treat, and then we give them something else to do. Okay. So that makes for quite a nice warm up. It gets a bit of focus going. It gets the brain ready for concentrating hard. And as you can see from mine, dogs, once they understand targeting, really, really like it. Okay, so that's our very first exercise, which, as you've seen, has got lots and lots of different levels to it. So then what we're going to do is take these away, because otherwise we won't get anything else from them. I have it. Thank you very much. We are next going to have a little look at a bit of body awareness work. And body awareness is helping our dogs to know where their feet are going, to lift them independently, to not bounce their way over things and around things. If they're going around a corner, to utilise the whole body rather than the front end racing through and the back end kind of just following a bit like the end of a roller coaster. And it helps our dogs to be just aware of their body. It means that they're less likely to trip over. Yeah, they're less likely to trip over. They're less likely to knock into things and just be a bit more body aware, which then in turn helps them stay stronger and helps, again, the brain with firing all those signals. I know you want to do stuff, bad thing. So with body awareness, there are quite a few different things that we can do to help our dogs with that. But one of them is going to be asking them to go around an item of some description, okay? And there are loads and loads of ways that we can get our dogs to go around things. One of the easiest ways to get a dog to go around something is to have an item and literally teach them to go around, okay, in a circle. So if I had a comb here, which I do, the item can be anything, by the way. It can literally be, it can be a pot of paint, it can be a dustbin, it can be a chair. It just needs to be something that your dog can go around safely and comfortably, okay? And of course, I should have said this at the very start. If you notice, I've got a couple of rugs down. Good boy. We want we want non-slip flooring throughout. Whenever we're working with our older dogs, we do not need body parts slipping out, because then they've got to tense up more, they're likely to pull something, and it does make it much harder on those joints. So whatever you've got for your dog to go around, here, we're going to pop it on the floor, whee, and we're going to ask the dogs to go around it. Okay, so let's get rid of you. Good boy, that's lovely. We're going to ask them to go around in a circle, nice and steady. Good boy, and back to the start. That was really bad, Merlin. So round and back to the start again. Good girl, Ripley. Now, when we're doing this, we don't need to rush round. If your dog knows this one, that's great. That's really, really great. But they don't need to rush. They can go quite slowly. If they go really, 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 really quickly, which I'll show you. Ripley, come here. Good girl. Merlin, ready? Go round. Yay. Can you see with Ripley, I don't know if you noticed her back end that time, she kind of got to it, her body curled around the front and the back end just kind of followed it. Good girl. Oh, that's nice. Didn't ask for that though. Come here. Good. Merlin, circle. Yes. Ripley, circle. Yes. Okay. So the quicker they go, the less they're thinking about their body, the less control there is, and the less they're utilising all the different muscles, okay? The slower they go, good girl. You see there, she's actually using the whole body to turn. She's using each foot independently. It's much safer. And it's actually like we intend it to be, an exercise to help body awareness. So even if your dog knows this, it can be good to go back to guiding with your hand, with a treat, with a toy, just to get them to slow down a tiny bit. So all we're doing, if you haven't done this before, is lure your dog. You come out the way. Lure them to go running round and back to you. Where's my Rip chick? Ripper's chickers? Yay, good. And you can go in both directions. Okay, some dogs will prefer one way more than the other. Yay, good boy. Oh, good girl, that's very nice. You can give it a word if you would like. So I use go round and I use circle, go round and circle. But you don't have to put a word in, you can just use your hand signals. If your dog can't hear you very well, then you're going to need to work on some hand signals anyway. If you're working with a dog that can't see, then we are literally guiding and luring, and you can make a bit of noise to help them follow as well. I know, Merlin. Once they're getting the hang of it and they're happily going around and they're not getting stuck halfway or coming back on themselves or aren't too sure what to do, we then start reducing the hand cue, basically. So then we start only showing them kind of halfway. Okay, Merlin, can you go around? Yes, good. Rip your pips. Can you go circle? Yeah, good girl. And if they're not sure, if they get part way and then they go, oh, I'm not sure what to do, like that, we then help them the whole way around. Okay, so we show them what we want them to do instead. And so then we've got a dog that can now navigate some item, something. They can go both directions. They can go slowly. We can speed them up if we wanted to. And that is something that we can use so many places. We can use them on walks to ask them to go around trees. We can do it at the beach on some of the sea defence areas. We can ask them to do it in the garden, in the house. It actually can become quite a handy exercise. What I would say is if your dog does have any issues with the back legs, in that they struggle to stand sometimes, or if they turn, they kind of get a bit wobbly, make the item as wide as you can. Merlin, quickly, come here, please. Try and make the item as wide as you can, okay? So that way your dog isn't doing a really tight turn, they're doing more of an arc, which is much nicer for the body and actually means they're going to be working on something rather than injuring themselves. Merlin, please stop shouting. Get in, shut up, good boy. And Ripley, go in there. There's a good girl. Once me, it keeps earning. It's then an exercise that we can change and make it look a little bit different. We can ask them to go around us. We can ask them to go around legs. We can literally ask them to go around each other if you've got more than one dog. So you can vary it as much as you want to. But what you can use this for then is to ask your dog to go around a couple of different items and be really aware of how they're navigating something, okay? So for example, you could then ask your dog to do this around your legs. So you can ask for, so my clockwise is go round. So Merlin, go round, good boy. And then circle, good boy. So I can do that. And again, I'd want to do it really slowly at first and build my dog up. Ripley, circle, good girl. And go round, good girl. Exactly the same as we've just done with the cone, but they're doing it with me instead, okay? So they're being really aware, wait, off you get. They're being really aware of where they're putting each foot, how they're turning, they're doing a bit of weight shifting, and they're just having to then pay attention to their whole body, okay? It might be that we then ask them to do this with more than one item. I did have another comb somewhere, but I don't know where that's gone. So we'll use this lovely cat toy instead. So I'll pop this here. Can you get out of the way? So I'm going to put this here just so you can see it really more than anything else. We're going to move this out of the way. Put that there. So you make the space quite wide, ideally at least your dog's body length, if not more than that. And all we're doing, quickly go and get that treat, is we're going to ask them, I haven't asked you to do anything yet, have I? To go through the middle and then come back round to us. That's a good boy. That's nice. Ripley, what are you doing, darling? Can you go through here and go around that? Yeah, there's a good girl. There's a good girl. And then Merlin, can you go around that one? Go through there. Yeah, good boy. So again, you can do it as a figure of 8, but actually it's quite nice sometimes to have 2 or 3 items and ask them to go around this one and around that one and then treat at the end. So actually they're navigating left and right, and it's not just becoming a pattern. They're having to think about what you're asking them to do. Ripley, can you circle it? Good girl. And then can you go around this one? Good girl, that's nice. And again, it's more navigational skills for them. So if you have got space somewhere to put a few items out, then you can ask a dog to do, not weaving, but they're navigating, going around this way, going around that one. You can have it in a triangle, is really good. So that's a really, really good one for the body awareness side of things. Just going to see if I can find an extra item. Need more items. Don't know where that other cone should be. It should be with that cone. There's normally one inside the other. I know what I can use. Shall we use this? Look. Oh, thank you, Ripley. That's lovely. Look, nice tin. I need to move that now. So let's put that there. So we've got the 3 items. Let me just check that we can see them okay. Which we can. I haven't got anyone else asking to come in. Nope, we're all right, we're all good. And so then we can stand in the middle and we can ask our dog, good boy, to go around one, to go circling another. That's good. You go around. That's a good boy. Oh, good girl, Ripley. Can you circle that one? And then can you come around here? There's a good girl. Good girl. Okay. Now these items are very narrow. If I was working with, oh, good girl. If I was working with my Cassie when she was over 16, she would have done them, but she would have kind of had to really navigate. So I would have made them slightly bigger. I might have used flower pots, or I might have used boxes just up on their sides, things like that, just to give her more of an arc kind of shape rather than a tight turn. And so by doing something like this, you don't need distance. You can be quite close to your dogs, but they're then having to think about what they're doing. They're thinking about their foot placement, how they're navigating, how they're turning, which direction they're going in. And it really, really, really does help with the coordination, the balance, the body awareness, confidence in their movements as well. Should we put it back in here? Let's see, it's good, isn't it? Right, ready, Merlin? Can Merlin go around that one? Good boy. Can you circle? You're not looking, are you? Circle it. Yes. And then go around that one. Go around. Good boy. Go get it. Ripley, go around that one. And then can you circle? Good girl. And then go around. Good girl. And then circle. Yay! You see how much they enjoy this. Merlin can't get to his treat because it's gone behind a folder. You got it? There's only one. There's only one button. Merlin, here you go. You go circling. And look, go around. That's better. Can you go circle? Ripley. Go round, go round. Yes, good. Yeah, so a little bit of fun for them at the same time. If you've got room, you could have 4 or 5. Yeah, tied up to you. You can make them a little bit more distance if you want. So if your dog does like running, if your dog has got a lot of energy still and good mobility, then this is a good one to have a little bit of distance so they can then enjoy what they're working on. And that could be in place of taking them for a really long walk. Okay, if they struggle with the longer walk, struggle with some terrain perhaps, or the walk you were going to take them on, you know, it's busy or there's stuff going on, then you could do something like this as a place for it because they're still working and physically actually doing something. Oh, what moment? Yeah, so it's a really, really nice exercise to be doing. Just keep an eye on the time. So we'll just move this out of the way. We don't need that anymore. Let's put that toy back on it. We'll get rid of this. So then we are looking at, please, the brain game kind of things, thinking about how your dogs can use their brains for good rather than for evil. And so brain work is where they are less moving about and racing around and things like that, and more trying to problem solve and think about things and work out kind of what we're asking them to do. And so there's loads of ways we can do this. Scent work, all the different types of scent work is very, very good for this sort of thing. Often as dogs get older, actually their scenting becomes a bit more apparent. Sometimes that's because they're losing a bit of hearing or they're losing a bit of sight, and so they're then relying on scent a little bit more. Other times it's that they're slowed down, so they're not racing about so much. And so because they've gone a bit slower, they're able to actually take in everything they're getting for every step they take. So all the new scents coming in, they're going, oh, I'm interested in this. Whereas a dog that's racing actually will miss big chunks of scent because they're just going so fast, or they'll just hone on one scent and follow that, and then they miss everything as they're passing it. So you might find that your older dog is actually starting to scent well, so then they'd really enjoy doing some sort of scent work, wouldn't they, Merlin? Yes. So scent work's a great one. Another thing is to get them to do, again, different styles of targeting and things like that. Merlin, no one needs to hear you shouting, do they? I know you think they do, but they don't. You're a bad boy. Okay, that's better. That's a good boy. Okay, so then what we can look at, yes, I know, is this is an exercise that doesn't require your dogs to do any movement whatsoever. This is quite a nice gentle exercise for the dogs, but they do have to think about what we're asking them to do, and they do have to focus, which is then using that brain work. And so what it's going to be is asking our dogs to do a look. Okay, so they're going to be looking out at something. Shush. Looking out at something. So we need something for your dogs to look at. So I'm going to go back to using this cat toy. Actually, we're going to use this. That will work quite nicely. Here, all I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my dog, my noisy dog, I'm going to bring him into this peekaboo position, but you can have them just in front, to the side, whatever works for you the best. Ripley, you can have that. I'm going to pop a treat on here. I need Ripley out the way. Oh, good boy. That's very cute. Can you back up a bit, please? Good boy. Good boy. You have that. You have that. I'm going to put a treat on here. Let him look. And I'm going to show him where it is. Look. Just there. Look. Let him look. Look. It's there. Look. Come out the way. Rippers. Rippers. Look. You see it? It's up there. Look. It's not going to work with two dogs. You see it, Maddie? Look, it's there. Look. Yes, go get it. Oh my God. Oh my God, Merlin. He says it's too high. I can't see. I'm an old man now. Right, we need a lower item. Oh my God. He even knows this one. This is ridiculous, Merlin. So, something that's not too high, apparently. That was what I was going to use. What am I going to use instead now? But you want something ahead of your dog. You're holding onto your dog, you've either got a harness on or you're holding around the front like I did with Merlin there, and you show them that there's a treat or a toy, depends on what your dog likes. And as they go, oh, I can see that's there. Oh, I can see it. You then go, yeah, that's it. Well done. Look, good. And then you let them go and they can go and play with the toy, pick up the treat, whatever it might be. Okay. So it's just a split second to start with. Look at this. Good. And then you repeat that a few times. So they start to go, okay, if you put something back there, then, oh, yes, it's there. And you're saying, look, I am looking. Yeah, it's there. And then gradually we keep them there for a few seconds longer. And look, that's good. They're still looking. Let them go again. So it doesn't have to be far away. It can just be out of your dog's reach. They haven't got to move very far at all. You can, if you want to, thank you. You can, if you want to, if your dog doesn't move a huge amount or they're having a bit of a bad day with their mobility, then you can actually ask your dog to look in the same way, have something in front of your dog to look at. That's really clever. You're looking good. And then you can actually then go, oh, here you go. Here's a treat. So they get the treat given to them for looking at the treat over here. You don't always have to do the moving part. All right. I'm going to have to put the treat on the floor, I think. She didn't really want to do, so I don't like doing that. Right, Rippers. Ripley, go and find that treat, please. Merlin, come peekaboo. Can you look? Yes, get it. Ripley found it. Oh my God. Right, you stay there. Ripley, go get it. Merlin, look. Yes, get it. Yeah. Okay, that's what we're after. We're after that drive forward, that looking at where it is. Good boy. Where is it? There it is. I'm going to go to it. Okay. So then we can repeat that a few times and they start getting the idea that when you say look, I need to look straight ahead at wherever it is you're pointing me, and there will probably be something there for me to look at, and then I might go and get it. Ripley chips. Right, let me go into peekaboo. Ripley, get it. Merlin, look. Yes, get it. Good boy. It's bouncing slightly further than it needs to go. So you have that quite a few times. You gradually build it up from a second to a few seconds and build it up from there. Then what you can be doing is, because you've been saying look and your dog is actually then looking at where something is, we can start asking them to look before the item is actually there. Okay, so I'm going to bring Merlin in again. in theory, he should look now because he does actually know this one. Right, Ripley, get it? Good girl. Merlin, look, look, look. Merlin, yes. And then we throw the treat. Good boy. So we ask them to look. When they look forwards, yes, drop the treat down. So because they looked, the treat appeared. Okay, so the treat becomes a reward rather than a lure. So they then have to think about it. So this is where the brain work comes in. They have to really think about what we're asking them to do. Merlin, peekaboo again. Good boy. Rip chip. You get it? Merlin, look. You look. Yes, get it. Good boy. And again, you don't have to send your dog. You can ask them to look. When they look, yes, give them the treat. But you want to bring it in as they're looking in that direction. You don't want to go, yes, look at me. Here you go. Because then they get the treat for the wrong thing and they won't understand what you're asking them to do. And then gradually you'll be able to just say, look, and they'll look at whatever it is you're asking them to look at. It might be you ask them to look at another member of the family that's coming up the garden. You might ask them to look because there's something up ahead. I don't know, their friend, a dog that they know on a walk, something like that. You can actually then start saying to them, oh, look, you look, and they'll go, oh, what? So you can actually then build it into something that you use day to day as well. But it starts off very small, gradually we build it up and build it up. And then it just becomes a nice way that you can ask them to look at something, use that brain, but it doesn't require them to utilise their body too much at the same time. Okay, so have a little try on that one. There you go. And then we'll check where we are with the time. Yep, so we're just about getting to the end now. So the very, very, very last exercise then is going to be a body strengthening one. And so when we talk about body strengthening, we are looking at having, can you stand? Good boy. Having a lovely core, which is this area here. We're looking at having a strong rear end because that's what drives dogs, what helps them jump in the back step and things like that, helps them get up off the floor. And we want a nice strong front end because it's the front end that bears the brunt when they come off the sofa, if they come down the stairs, things like that. If they're leaning forward to pick something up off the floor, you know, those sorts of situations. So we want the whole body to be nice and strong where possible. Not always easy to do, but we can actually keep muscles nice and strong by doing some really, really gentle exercises. I am a certified professional canine fitness trainer, and I do include a lot of the canine fitness trainer gentle exercises for senior dogs, because if we keep that body nice and strong, it means they're mobile for longer. It means if they have to go undergo any joint surgery and then the recovery period, which is often several weeks, they have got strong muscles to cope with the potential loss in muscle while they're recuperating. It means that their body is nice and strong and healthy to withstand illness if they have it, injury, you know, things like that. So having a strong body to start with is much, much better for the dogs than trying to strengthen it after something has happened. Okay. And there are loads of exercises, but there are lots of gentle ones. It's the gentle ones that we want to be looking at the moment, okay, because we just want to start them off, basically. So what Merlin's doing now with this nice square stand is actually a really good way of starting dogs off, and it's one of the best exercises for working on core strength. Even though it doesn't look like he's doing a lot, standing still for dogs actually can be quite hard. It does take a lot of thinking about. But what we're actually going to be working on is stepping up and stepping off of something. So I'm going to use my mini platform, which is only like 1.5 inches, 2 inches high at the most. You could use a book that's not very high, so you know, 1 inch, if that, is all we need. It's just to get the body moving, okay? And when the joints get to move and the muscles get to engage, it just helps things sort of tick over. And all we're going to ask them to do is pause up, walk across, and step off again. Can we? Right, Ripley, go get that. Good. Merlin, pause up. Good boy. Walk on and walk off. Good. That's nice. Ripley, pause up. Walk on, walk off. Good. Careful. Walk up. Good. Pause up. Walk on, walk off. God. Don't do it with more than one dog because they're just manic. And so all they're doing, we don't want them to be stepping up and having to stretch. We don't need them to be jumping off the other side. It's just a nice gentle movement to step up, to then step off, and the other side steps up at the back, and then steps off from there as well. So like I say, they're stepping up, they're stepping off, they're engaging, they're flexing and extending the joints, and then the muscles are engaging. It's nice and gentle. We don't want impact work for our senior dogs because they've probably had enough of that throughout their lives anyway. But it does get them, it has a little bit of body awareness and coordination as well, but it's a really nice gentle one for helping them to just work that body a little bit. So like I say, you can use something like a book. I happen to have a platform, so that's something I like to use. Polystyrene piece of a bit of foam, something like that. It can even be just a blanket folded up several times on the floor and ask them to walk across there. Again, ideally, you don't want anything slippery. So if you have got something you think, oh, that would be a good size for my dog, but it's quite slippery on the top, can you wrap a yoga mat around it perhaps? Can you put something on it, glue something to it perhaps so it's not slippery? Just to help your dog out a little bit there as well. So we're just asking them to step on, walk along, step off. So we can go lengthways on this as well. Good boy, come here, Ripley, go get that. Good girl, run, pause up. Good, walk on and walk off, obviously. You can't do anything slowly, you, can you? Go and get that. Good girl, walk off, good girl. Now, if you notice, as I'm asking my dogs to come off, my hand's going quite low. What we don't want to be doing when the dogs are going downwards is having that cervical spine really curved extensively. So if I get them to step off, walk off, and they're looking up, if you see, now he's sitting, it doesn't really make a difference. This part here, you don't want them doing that because it's not great for the neck. So ideally, we want them to step off with the hand a little bit lower so their head is looking lower as well. You go get that. Rippers, chippers. Yes. Okay. Excellent stuff. So that will be your fitness exercise for this mini workout session. And then just to finish off, we want to just kind of cool them down so they don't just stop and go, lay down somewhere. We actually want to just cool them down a little bit. So I will, after this, let them out in the garden so they can have a little bit of a mooch. But we can just do a small amount of movement, just walking forwards and then getting a small recall. Good boy, into heel. Good boy. And then back into a recall again. That's very good. What a good boy. Ripley Chipley. There you go. Here. And come. Good girl. And then side. Good girly. And come. Good. Yeah. So all I'm doing, you could just walk in a circle around your room in both directions with them, but we just want them to walk, basically a little bit of walking, just a small amount, and it just helps the body just cool down quite naturally. And then if they then want to go and have a little lay down, then that's absolutely fine. If you're then traveling somewhere with them in the car and they're laying down there, again, their body has naturally started to cool down. Okay. So that is going to be the end of our first mini session for our Senior Dogs month of November. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope you've at least maybe learned something different to try with your dogs. If you have any questions at all, I don't think anything's come up in the chat, but if you have any questions, so a quick look. No, we're all good. We're all good. Any questions at all, you can let me know. So say this is going to go out to everyone who has signed up. So everyone will get this that way. And it's going to go in the Senior Dogs group as well. You can post questions in the Senior Dogs group under where this link will be posted. And you can also contact us. So you can use WhatsApp, text, email, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, Twitter, any of those that you want to use if you've got any questions about any of this. Okay, so I know I'm seeing at least one or two of you guys tomorrow for our in-person Senior Dogs class, which is going to be happening at my training premises in Ardley. So I look forward to seeing you and your dogs tomorrow afternoon, which is the Saturday, and everyone else, I will hopefully see you on the next live that we will have coming up. I need to schedule the date and time as yet, but we have got more of these kinds of sessions, as well as some talks with information and ways that we can help our senior dogs further. Okay, so thank you so much for joining us. I do hope you've enjoyed it. I do hope you've enjoyed having a bit of time with your senior dog and working on something a little bit different that's aimed at them, and a bit of time with your older dog with you as well. Obviously, Merlin's thoroughly enjoying himself because he's telling everyone about it. And yeah, we're going to finish there for now. Enjoy the rest of your day, everybody. Thank you so much for coming. I hope you've got the sunshine that we've got here in Essex. And yeah, I'll speak to you hopefully very, very soon. So I'm going to stop the recording and I'm going to stop the video at the same time. Okay, take care for now, everybody. Bye-bye.